expenses.
So it's kind of funny when you get to Olympia, you get people cry, unfunded mandate, unfunded mandate, unfunded mandate, but when you ask for a comprehensive list, you can't get one. So I've asked our school districts, give me a comprehensive list of what the unfunded mandates are. So what I'm doing is working with Representative Sherry Appleton, who is the chair of the local government committee, to do a work session that includes all local governments from county, city, and sub-agents like school districts and fire districts. What are the unfunded mandates? Let's get a comprehensive list. We will tackle the comprehensive list. In a lot of circumstances or situations, we can just eliminate the mandate because it's usually repetitive regulations. So we will be convening that work session this year, and we'll get to the bottom of it and actually get them gone. Thank you.
When I talk about being a fiscal conservative, the first thing that comes to mind is you have to pay your bills. And I agree with Dan that there are more claims of unfunded mandates than actual unfunded mandates. But nonetheless, where they exist, we have got to come up with a way to pay for them. I've spoken before about what I think is a better overall tax plan for the state of Washington, with an income tax. We have got to take care of our basic commitments to our citizens. And I gotta tell you, that money has to come from somewhere. Thank you.
Okay, James, next question, still staying with education, higher education. Are you in favor of cutting community college tuition to zero?
Yes. And let me tell you that if you look at our European competitors, they all heavily subsidize or completely subsidize higher education. Meanwhile, in the United States, students today are carrying $1.5 trillion in debt. That's almost 3 times the annual defense budget of this nation. And what's happening there is it is dissuading a lot of bright students from pursuing a college education. Okay? They can go down to the union hall and sign on as an apprentice electrician or plumber and do quite well. Well, I'm going to tell you, that's wonderful. But in the 21st century, we have got to have people who are educated in the sciences, in biomedical devices. Time.
Currently, Running Start in College in the Classroom is free. We need to expand on both of those, and we will, in essence, make your first 2 years or your associate's degree free. We need to further that by saying that industry certification in high-needs industries in Washington State will also be free, and you'll get that education while you're in high school, so you're ready to go to work right out of high school. It's just a small tweak to what we got to actually get to an ability for our kids, when they're done with their K-12 education experience and career, they will be ready to be competitive in a workforce that it will be unrivaled in the world. Thank you.
Okay. With the economy getting better and the state's budget getting increasing funds, what are you going to do to help the counties who are struggling?
Well, as we just talked about, Representative Sherry Appleton and I are going to convene a work session on unfunded mandates, and we're bringing all the players to the table. Once we identify those mandates, we're going to figure out the ones that we can just eliminate and the other ones that actually have to be backfilled. I think that says about all. Thank you.
As I mentioned earlier, counties are hard up against it, and it's not just unfunded mandates. As UGAs grow, more and more of the funds that were going to counties then go to cities, and yet in the rural areas, demand grants continue to grow for sheriff's departments, for road work, we're going to have to come up with a plan to let counties increase their income. Now, there are a lot of ways that we can do that, but that is ultimately going to have to happen. Thank you.
Okay. What do you see as the priority in a fix for the SR16, SR3 congestion issues?
I have no idea. That is something that I would pass on to DOT. You know, it is important as a representative to use all of the tools that you have available. You know, we spend money to build some of the finest departments in state government. I look at DOT, I look at Department of Ecology, who I have worked with closely. These are fine, smart people. And I would intend to let them show the way, and that I would work to fund that.
If we wait for DOT to lead and show the way, we won't get any congestion relief enforced. However, I am a representative, and I am working with DOT. The best option that we have right now, because of the way the interchanges are built and because of the National Defense Railroad that we have in Gorse, that is the main choke point, we're going to have to do a bypass up and over the hill. When I was a kid, you used to be able to, right where the overpass stopped by the sewage treatment plant, you used to be able to just exit there, go up and over the hill, and then you would converge in Gorse and you would find another way around. And I think a solution like that is what's going to happen. We'll have to re-solidify that bypass over there. But what have we done in my 4 years to try to reduce congestion? We added the extra lane, and if you look at that, it's part of a push that the legislators like myself have been pushing DOT to do, is what is our excess capacity, and can we use our shoulders to make sure that we move traffic better? And we did that in Gorse, and it is working. We just need some more congestion relief. Thank you.
Okay. Do you support the Puget Sound Clean Air Agency in their desire for a clean fuel standard modeled on Oregon and California, covering only 4 counties?
Well, the problem with clean air standard is it comes with a clean fuel standard, and the unfortunate thing is biodiesel at this point in time does not work very well in modern diesel engines. And what we really need to look at is, because you put the oil in there, you don't get the power per explosion, if you will. You're going to get about 20% less fuel economy when you adopt those. So we absolutely need clean air in Washington State. What they're advocating for, though, is going to be more burdensome and actually cause more pollution, which we do a lot in Washington State in our environmental policy. So some of it I support, not all of it.
Our environment is the greatest legacy that we have that we'll pass on to our children and grandchildren. Yes, we have got to have clean air, we have got to have clean water, and we have got to make those priorities. Now, I agree that this particular program is flawed, but that does not relieve us from the responsibility of making a lot more effort in cleaning up our environment and keeping it clean. Thank you.
Okay. Do you think the Ruckelshaus Center study will result in any significant changes in the Growth Management Act?
I must say that I am very comfortable with the Growth Management Act as it stands today. I think that it has done wonders in helping us to organize our communities in ways that we can deliver public services efficiently. I guess that's all I've got.
No, it's because of this Ruckelshaus doing it. Opinions like my opponent's opinion that the GMA is just fine and we just need to have a study completed that justifies our opinion. The GMA is tragic and devastating to rural communities, and I can't believe my opponent would say that he's comfortable with it. It is crippling our ability to grow and quadrupling the size of King County, and we really need to get to the bottom of it. Unfortunately, I've sat at the Ruckles House interview meetings, and I do not see what I would like to see them dig down in the weeds on. So I don't believe they're going to give us. I'm hopeful, highly hopeful. I don't think they're going to give us what we need to make good changes to the GMA.
Okay. Aquaculture, that's a hard word to say. Aquaculture. What is your view of our shellfish industry? Are we regulating it well?
Oh yeah, we are regulating it well, but I'll tell you, after talking to Taylor Shellfish, we do not have enough in our fisheries department fish biologists that know policy. Quite often, it took them 20 years and about $30 million to start a mussel shell operation in Washington State. That's tragic that it took that. The reason they finally got it through is because they, on staff, have marine biologists. I think we're doing a good job with our shellfish industry, especially because we have, with the Hearst Fix decision, we're going to be treating our stormwater, our runoff stormwater, more aggressively. And when we do transportation redesigns, we have those stormwater holding ponds very, very effective in mitigating any of the contaminants that would go into the water. So I think our aquaculture is going to just blossom from here, and we're doing a good job taking care of them.
Aquaculture is going to be an important growth industry in the 35th. Taylor has really paved the way with this, vertically integrating from seed beds to restaurants all over the Pacific Northwest and on into southern Canada. I think that we have done a pretty good job with regulation. And now what we need to do is stimulate growth in that sector. Value added to our seafood industry is the way to go. Thank you.
Okay. How will you ensure Olympia and the Department of Corrections will start paying the full costs when state inmates are housed in local jail facilities?
That is a mess. It's a mess in Mason County. It's a mess in the 35th. It's a mess in a lot of places. Part of the problem, as I understand it in talking to Casey Salisbury and some of the others, is a lot of people who are nonviolent offenders, who are no particular threat, end up in jail. Many of them, or some of them, have mental issues. They really belong in a different setting. And we're going to have to sort all of that out so that we're spending justice dollars on justice and mental health dollars on mental health. Thank you.
It's as simple as write a bigger check. We have got to do it. So a lot of people don't understand, but under Swift and Certain that was passed several years ago, if an inmate that was released early on their own recognizance and under DOC supervision violates in any way, Swift and Certain says you're going right back to the Hooskow, right? So a lot of times they won't go right back to the prison, they will go to the local jail settings. Under Swift and Certain, they're under DOC jurisdiction. We need to fund that, and we need to write a bigger check is just the answer that I believe.
Yes. Challenge.
Yeah.
Get 1 minute.
Yeah, you know, you can solve a lot of problems by writing a bigger check. But at the same time, the Republicans are always complaining about no new taxes, we spend too much in taxes. Well, this is the cost of doing business in government. You know, you've got to come up with the money somewhere. And that doesn't grow on trees. So, I'm all for writing a bigger check if that's what it's going to take to solve this problem. But real financial responsibility means also saying, okay, if we're going to write a bigger check, we're going to have to ask for some more money.
Dan, your response?
Yeah, well, yes, of course. We need somebody in Olympia that says, no, we're not going to steal from you any longer by raising your taxes every single year, raising taxes on business every single year. If our budget, when I first got there, $34 billion, our budget right now is almost $54 billion. We have enough money to do the things that we said we were going to do. We do not need to raise taxes any longer, and I take offense to the fact that we have to continuously talk about it. You need somebody in Olympia that's finally going to say no to raising taxes. Thank you.
Okay, Mike goes back to James for the next question. Hold your applause, please. Should the finances of nonprofits who take federal, state, county, and city funds be fully transparent and open to public scrutiny?
Absolutely. You know, whether it's nonprofits or government entities themselves, you know, when you're operating in that sphere, you need to be purer than Caesar's wife, and it needs to be absolutely transparent so that everybody can see what's going on and make their judgments based on that. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
That's it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Down to our last two questions. What do you think of Kitsap County being a sanctuary county? If you approve, you are breaking the law.
I don't think sanctuary counties should exist when you're breaking the law. We need to have legal immigration, and legal immigration, there's a process to get in here. I will tell you something, on immigration, we used to do it a lot better. It used to be that you could go get a green card, our farmers could go down to the border, we could expedite a legal process, a safe process. They'd come to the United States and they go back. A lot of times the reason that immigrant farm workers don't leave now is because we make it too burdensome. So we need a significant reform and change at the local level or at the federal level to make sure that we can more easily get our immigrant or migrant farm workers here to the United States. When we make it streamlined, they'll go back to their native land and come back when they need to. Because a lot of times what they do is they send all their wealth to their family down wherever they're from, any of Latin America, Guatemala or Mexico, all over. Thank you.
You know, this is an easy problem to fix. What we need is a flexible guest worker program that allows us to bring in foreign labor as we need it for the farm industry, to polish the floors in the mall, whatever we need that done for. And the other side of that is to penalize those who hire undocumented workers who do not have work visas. You know, the way that it works now is sort of a wink, wink, nod, nod, where we tell folks from Latin America, you know, you can't come to the United States unless you go through the process. Meanwhile, we're also saying, but look, you know, we'll pay you under the table, and you know, if you can get here, we'll give you a job. Well, that's not fair, and that's not the way to do it.
All right, last question. Do you support removing the 1% per year limit on tax increases for government? Why or why not?
I do. You know, businesses exist for the single purpose of generating profits. That's what they do. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I've been a businessman all my life. It's worked out well for me. When you do that, you often bring jobs, you expand the economy. It's a wonderful thing. The business of government is to generate public goods. That's what they do. And we have to be willing to pay the price to have those public goods generated. So yes, I would support removing the cap.
Dan?
Nope.
All right, that's it for our questions. We'll go to our 2-minute closing. We started with Dan, so we'll begin with James with 2 minutes to close.
We have tremendous opportunities here on the 35th. And while my opponent and I may disagree on this or that specific policy, I will tell you that all of us here see that potential and want to turn that into a reality. I think that if we focus on jobs and prosperity for today, education and opportunity for our students tomorrow, and spend real effort on our environment, then we will achieve our goals.
Thank you once again. This is, I think, my 5th or 6th Days and Issues every 2 years, I guess. It's an honor and privilege to serve as your state representative in Olympia. I'm a professional firefighter by trade, and I have been a professional firefighter for 27 years. It gives me a unique view of what my constituents are dealing with. I see social service problems. I see social problems. I see drug abuse problems. I'm uniquely qualified to serve in Olympia. I've spent my entire life in service. I started at 15 years old as a volunteer firefighter. I don't know any other life, but it is an honor and privilege to serve you in Olympia. I will be ending the statute of limitations on felony sex crimes. I'm very proud that I sponsored an amendment to the budget that was passed that is now going to finally test the backlog of sexual assault kits in Washington State, so we can finally have a database of all of those monsters' DNA profiles so we can find them and we can solve other crimes. I am so proud that I was able to end the taxes, property tax on nonprofit senior centers so they could better leverage their money for Meals on Wheels and all those other senior services. I am proud that I was able to get infrastructure development monies for the 35th district. We've had significant safety improvements in our highway corridor from Olympia all the way to Rochester, all the way to Seebeck and Rochester in the south. I'm once again asking for your vote so we can continue all the tough work that we have started together. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Just a reminder, next week we'll be here for the Kitsap County Auditors. Thank you to our representatives for coming out. Please round of applause.